Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is Book 3 of Pathfinder's 2nd Edition's first adventure path, Age of Ashes. It is called Tomorrow Must Burn. We are just at the beginning of it. This is episode 25 of our little campaign here on Sunday nights. I would like to introduce our cast, then our sponsors, and then sort of describe where the party left off. A little bit fractured, a little split, but something's coming, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let's start with Mr. Smith.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smith. I play Rune Ravenswood, the poor, lost, broken wizard, currently residing somewhere
Somewhere.
unhealthy.
I'm sure he's fine. Jen?
Hello, I am Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. I will be playing a new character today as my druid heroically sacrificed herself. I don't know if you want spoilers or not, Ian.
We'll get to it.
Okay, cool.
You'll be introing a new character.
Yeah.
Spence?
Hi, I'm Spence, and I will be playing Aldonis. I got it right today. Aldonis, a warg who has learned some interesting new tricks, including being a cleric, and some other stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit, I think.
And Daniel?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm going to be playing Sailix Lavendil, the Crestfallen, and yeah, it's going to be a great time.
I look forward to catching the party up on every individual player's shenanigans. For now, you see on the screen, we are using Fantasy Grounds Unity. It is super smooth. They are a sponsor of this channel. If you like what you see in this virtual tabletop and you want to check it out, go to fantasygrounds.com. Smiteworks made something truly incredible, and especially, I mean, at least for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it just works like a charm. They have a bunch of support for new rule books, and they're updating it all the time. Additionally, we are also sponsored by The Only Sheet. They are an Excel spreadsheet-based sheet character creation and party management tool. It automates things very similarly, and it helps for character planning. If you don't use a virtual tabletop, it's a great way to move things. If you run a campaign in person, you can still use it. It's great for tracking things like party inventory and planning as you level up. Go to theonlysheet.com if you're interested. And then our music is by Rock Narden and Michael Gelfi. You can find them both on YouTube and Spotify. If this is YouTube, it is in the notes, in the description. I don't know who I want to start with here, but Cantargo, you found, is a beautiful city. They call it the Silver City, the Free City, for a reason. It's quite a sight. And a sunrise in Cantargo is like none other. You've spent almost an entire year here. This is your second summer you've been enjoying, and it's coming to an end. You notice that the air is a bit colder. There's a bit of a nip there, but there's still warmth to be had. You can hear the sound of fish markets. Economies just getting ready for what they hope is not too cold of a winter. But let's start up at a tower somewhere. I don't think the party knows. Two crows, ravens, magpies, whatever you want to call them, little things hopping off in the distance, scuttling, making their way up in small footholds to reach a window high up in a tower. A tiefling overlooks a city. They smile before turning inward to dust off a shelf of glowing books. Mr. Smith, why don't you go ahead?
Is everything getting ready?
Things are falling into place.
When does it start?
It's hard to say.
And Dietrich doesn't know?
he doesn't.
All right. Let's get cleaned up then.
You're not going in that, are you?
Too late.
This was the ravens looking at Rune. I'm not going to describe what he looks like, but he suddenly vanished away out of this library. Aldonis, you've heard a rumor. In fact, most of the town has. Sailix has been killed. You know that the person standing before you disproves that almost immediately, but he's already left about his own business. But what is your experience like, been in Kintargo?
It's been interesting. Soon after we settled into this house and I started taking jobs with the Albatross, I realized that going around as a warg was difficult.
Yeah.
Still, even with the brand now on my front shoulder, it was still very hard to go through town without people looking like they wanted to eat me.
Right. And the Order of the Torrent has arrested you more times than you can count.
Oh yeah.
Out of sheer suspicion.
So I went on a I went on a hunting trip outside of town and spent some time with Lamash too, doing what I could to like figure it out, what I'm supposed to be doing. And she gave me a word, a specific word that I could use, and I can now change into something kind of human looking. Long, wavy layers of hair that goes pretty much down to my rear hind. I'm not sure what it is. I have to wear a cloak, a long coat though, because I still have a tail. But you know, it is what it is. I have a cane, and like when I shift back into my wolf form, a cane like attaches to my legs. So you know, but I have to have a cane when I'm in human form, which is cool but also weird. As time went on, I noticed that some of the sailors had like piercings, and I thought that looked really cool. So I got them on my brows. I thought that really looked interesting. I do have a scar in the middle of my forehead though, so I've taken to having a wide scarf cover my forehead when I'm walking around, which is especially good when they have me go into the poorer sections of or the plague sections of the city, so that I can, you know, not scare people any more than they already are scared, because
Right.
someone's actually approaching them for like, what's it called? Humanitarian reasons. Such a weird phrase. I'm still getting used to it, and I loved the day that I came home and scared Sailix so much. Cause he almost killed me. But then I shifted and he was like, "Oh, that's weird." And I was like, "Well, you have wings." And he was like, "Fair." Yeah. That's what's been going on. But if he's been killed, that sucks.
The Council of Kintargo has convened a meeting to discuss this. Word spread quite quickly that he was killed by the River Talons. You know this not to be true because you shared breakfast with him before he explained to you that he had been murdered. And he's
he
set
told
up
me.
to, as one does. It's an important thing, so you would update somebody about it. But he set off. He wouldn't tell you what he was going to go do, but you're not worried about it. However, you know Albatross is going to be there. Diedrich is going to be there. Crimson Ravens are going to be there. River Talons are going to be there. You figured if they're all there, Silver Ravens are probably going to be there. It's probably something worth seeing. It's hosted at the War Cage, and there's always something going on there. I'm sure you've had scraps there before.
Yeah.
Sort of a fight club, the betting pit.
It's awesome. I love it. I love it so much.
It's a great place as long as you don't kill anybody. That is heavily frowned upon there.
It's hard.
Yeah, you just want to crack that neck, but you can't because rules.
Hands are not as effective as jaws, just saying.
Yeah, that's true. But in your human form, those jaws are not as effective as those hands.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
In a tower
yeah.
overlooking the Bleak Bridge, actually. Bleak Bridge is a few hundred feet in length. It is the only land bridge that connects the rich north side of Kintargo with the poor south Kintargo. And I'm going to open a map to show this. But basically, that's where the River Talons, that's where they reside. They live on the rooftops and in the rafters, the beams that hold the top of the well-decorated bridge. There's actually a community, businesses and stalls. There's an economy that runs through it. The Talons know this, and they leverage the flow of money to control it in a favorable direction. They like to redistribute the wealth to the poor, and it has had a good effect on keeping Kintargo from becoming corrupt. Wouldn't you know it? When people get rich in a city, all of a sudden it starts to look a little bit corrupt. But atop a tower of one of the 3 arches that support this large bridge, a man's looking out a window, a halfling. He actually stands on his desk, hands behind his back, long golden hair and a golden goatee. But he hears a knock on the door to his office as he's watching over the peasants crossing the bridge. Yes, come in. Jen, as you enter.
Okay. Whoa. Okay, I clicked something.
No, that was me.
Okay. That was really weird because I was like, where'd all my stuff go? I was looking over my sheet. So basically, Vesparin looks like, she is obviously a sea elf. She is, tall-ish, very lean. I'm gonna say she has like a very pale blondish hair, kind of a silvery tint or whatever. But it's like cropped short. She wears what was it? A raven cloak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And has the tattoo.
Yeah. I want you to see this, he says, and he steps aside on his desk so that you could approach the window.
Mm-hmm.
It's open. As you do, you observe a bridge bustling.
Mm-hmm.
It's more active today than usual, but it makes sense for the time of year.
What am I looking at?
I've told you before. This is going to be yours one day.
I like the sound of that.
It's getting closer. I'm afraid I soon... He's going to shake the thought off. There has been an incident, I'm sure you've heard. Sailix Lavendil of the Crimson Ravens has been killed. Now, Crimson Ravens, they believe it was us. This is about as stupid as you could imagine, but it's time for damage control.
I mean, you can't fix stupid.
Well,
What you need?
I need you to visit our war cage. Yet again. Prevent him from killing anybody. At least until we can figure out who did this. It wasn't the Talons.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, she'd nod and I guess get to it. Let's see. Hang on a second though.
Mm-hmm.
My screen looks like this. So I want to make sure that's okay or if I need to restart.
You could probably exit that window.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you don't need it.
It's not letting me though, unless I close the whole thing.
Close the skull.
Yeah, you can close the full. You can close.
Okay.
There's a little skull icon, and one more thing. He's going to hop off his desk into his chair and pull open the drawer. You know exactly what is in his desk drawer. A knife covered in cloth, light glowing through. We've trained with him for quite some time. I think you're ready.
Really?
You know when
Wow.
to listen to him, and you know when not to.
Blimey, thank you. And she'd kind of take it just reverently, like.
And you get that feeling. The sensation is like throwing up and waking up at the same time. And it doesn't get better the more you do it. You've picked this weapon up before. It's nauseating.
Mhm.
And makes you feel chills down your body in a bad way. But you've learned to block out much of it. Because you've been training with this, but today is the day that it's officially yours. When you look over, Theobald is already pounding away at his paperwork again, which is your sign. It's a signal to you. You've learned over the years that's your cue to leave.
Okay.
You head out?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to, it looks like my, fantasy grounds had crashed because there was a mini update.
Oh, that's fine. You can just reload it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So sorry to
No.
be weird because I'm just like, I want to get back into the thing. Yeah, okay. So, I guess, the question I have is, what do I know about the, war cage?
War Cage is it's a betting, fighting establishment
Okay.
owned by the River Talons. It generates some income, but it's mostly just about handling conflicts between members of the councils. There is a strict rule against killing.
Okay.
Basically, all bets are forfeit, and in some cases, the money is destroyed if anybody involved in the fight actually dies. Because the moment they allow somebody's death to be caused for profit is when shit starts to go south. So
Okay.
it's about trying to beat the shit out of each other in order to
It's Fight
have
Club.
an attempt at yeah, essentially.
Okay. And Sailix is there, or we have to fight him, or?
You know Sailix has challenged somebody.
Okay.
He's challenged the River Talons as a whole because he
Okay.
thinks he has been murdered by them. You don't think this is true unless somehow you've lost touch with the River Talons in a way that you don't know you have.
Yeah.
It's not like the Talons to murder their foes. There's been a bit of a rivalry. There had been some fights back and forth, but that's normal.
Yeah. Also, how can you be murdered if you're still alive?
Well, so you don't know that. You
Okay.
think he's dead. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
he hasn't been seen since then. They thought he was legitimately killed
Okay.
and thrown
So
off the
who's
bridge.
issuing the challenge? Because you said that Sailix had issued a challenge.
Oh yeah, so in that regard, it's the Crimson Ravens who have issued this challenge.
Okay.
And you're leaning towards the idea that maybe Salix is alive,
Okay.
because the way that they issued it sort of implies it. And the Crimson Ravens, you feel, would be a lot more upset about it if he was actually dead.
Okay.
The way that they're posturing it implies that they're trying to be sly, but you don't think,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I basically
Essentially.
like my question is, am I going there to see if he's alive or to enter Fight Club to, like
So you're
Okay.
to arrive with many of the River Talons
Okay.
to just see what the Crimson Ravens bring.
Okay, cool.
The challenge issued is not like a one-on-one fight.
Okay.
It's just that's where we're going to meet in
Sharks
case we
and
want to get
jets.
violent.
Sharks and
Yeah.
jets. Okay, we're gonna snap it. I can't actually snap my fingers, so I'm just gonna make the gesture. All right, cool. I got it. Sorry, I was getting confused with the he's dead but not. And
Yeah, and the thing is, the Crimson Ravens are not very good at they've revealed their hand in a sense because
Okay.
they didn't ask for the body.
Mhm.
They didn't recover the body when it was thrown into the water. They instead demanded to speak with the River Talons.
Okay.
Aldonis, what are you doing on this day?
Well, I'm gonna go find Diedrich because Diedrich is my alpha, and so I'm gonna go and follow his lead.
Right. The Order of the Albatross has a small establishment, but essentially they don't have a presence like they do out at the coast and further into the sea. You know where to find him most days. He's eating seafood, actually right by Bleak Bridge. There's a little establishment. You can usually find him eating oysters on an afternoon like this. It's not far from where you live. He's seated outside.
So I come and I sit down, lean my cane against the table. Boss.
I'm hardly your boss. How are things?
Well, supposedly Sailix is dead. That's a problem.
Murdered?
That's what they say.
Talons?
Maybe. All it is rumors. But I don't smell that much blood.
This is unlike them.
Yeah.
Theobald. He's the head of the Talons. He wouldn't let something like that happen.
So maybe they are looking for information and using this rumor as a way to get it.
Maybe they've soured.
What does this mean?
I don't know.
No, what does soured mean? Like, I know how soured milk tastes, but like, you bipedals speak weird.
You know, I forget. And he's going to stand up, much taller than you because of his armor. You might get used to the strange looks that he gets, but he doesn't, because he forgets what he is in a way. In his bulky, rocky, wet and mossy armor. How old are you now?
Almost 4.
Almost 4. And you hear a voice behind you. He's 4 now. It's the month of Lamachan. It's Demiri.
He doesn't smile often, but there's a flash of recognition, and his lips quirk up just a bit. Good to see you, Mother.
Likewise. She'll approach you. We don't age on our named days. We count the years through the month of Lamachan. I wish I could have taught you that. Wish I could have taught you many things.
You are here now. Why are you here?
Premonition. You've been hunting.
For many things.
I've been on the road for many months.
Do you need to rest?
I do.
He'll bow to Dimitri. I will meet you at the war cage. And he'll guide Demiri back to the house.
She'll take an oyster off of Diedrich's plate on the way out.
And he'll walk with his cane. There's a weird swagger about him now that Demiri's here. And he stands just a little taller. He allows his tail to poke out a little bit and wag as he walks. This city is strange. But,
Speaking to Diedrich?
no, I'm speaking to Demiri.
Yeah.
The city is strange. They don't appreciate people like us. Not like Breach Hill.
You teach me of Kintargo.
I will. As much as I know.
And I'll tell you of the wargs.
Okay.
As much as I know.
Am I truly one of them, though? They abandoned me. Why should I even bother with them? They are not my clan.
This isn't about an alliance. It's about a war. Later, it's nighttime. The sun is down. And people have gathered at the war cage. The fighting hasn't started yet. You would know there are giant scales up at the top near the rafters in the center. This place is a sprawling complex. They sell a lot of merchandise. You can buy most weapons and armor that you need here. You can have crafted by commission, or you can browse. I mean, they have shops. They even have some food. This place is sort of an all-in-one for people looking for a little bit of violence. But at the center, there's a pit where people fight. Sandy, but blood-stained, and a domed ceiling with stained glass at the top, so that in the daytime, people can train as they enjoy basking in the light that comes in. It's owned unofficially by the River Talons. Aldonis, do you frequent this place?
I've fought a few times, but mostly when I come here, they bring me as a healer for the Albatross.
Right. And healing you do. Gain a bit of a reputation. The Sea Elves, they don't like this place, so you don't have much work with the Albatross here.
No.
But nevertheless, you're the first among your friends to arrive. You do arrive with Diedrich, however, but he has a knack for just standing in place and being as boring as possible to wait for something to occur. So if there's anything you would like to do in this guild hall of sorts, you can. Diedrich's just going to wait at the top on the railing overlooking the pit.
I would like to walk around and, sniff for anything familiar. Looking to see if maybe Sailix is hiding somewhere or something else familiar. Just seeing if there's anything like amiss before returning.
Yeah, the River Talons are arriving in great numbers, and as are the Crimson Ravens. Now, everybody seems to be on a bit of a different page, and tensions are rising,
Mm-hmm.
which is to be expected. But nobody's violent yet. All waiting. Rumor is just rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't even believe Sailix is dead, but you can tell by the expression that most people do. Um, Rune, why don't you enter?
Initially, a raven sort of flies in and catches a perch just inside the doorway. Not long after, a second one. And in a flash, a unkindness of ravens sort of appears out of nowhere in the doorway, and walking through this cloud, this block, enters a tall, 6 foot tall man. He's fairly defined. Hair is shorter, a bit longer in the front maybe. No beard really. His eyes as amber as those who may remember him. There's no lack of confidence in his step. His boots are high, his pants are leather, wearing a jacket and a vest. Slung at his side is a large tome, as some might remember. Both the ravens that came in fly down. One perches atop a slightly longer cane, the other right on his shoulder. And in a slightly increased tone or volume, "Hello. My name is Rune Ravenswood. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. I suspect some of you might be looking for me."
Where did he just come from, first of all? Like, is this in the middle of everything, or is it like
Yes.
In the center of the pit.
Okay.
So Aldonis will very quickly turn, and if he had big ears, they would be perked up.
You hear the squeaking and crunching of the wood railing as the weight of the armored Diedrich. He leans in. Rune,
Daedric,
are you making a mistake?
we shall see now, won't we?
Looking off at the side, there are Hell Knights of the Order of the Torrent. They have arrived for this meeting because the tension is high, and they're looking for the stairs down to the bottom, presumably to arrest the wanted man that has appeared. It's quite a spectacle, actually. Some people seemed to cheer. They're ready. They're ready for what comes next. But emerging from the other entrance, there are two entrances to this arena pit. Typical for an arena. Emerging from one of them out of the shadows is a strange-looking man, perhaps Galton. Blonde hair, it's balding, and he has a mustache and goatee. 2 daggers and a mace, dressed regally, and he steps forward, creeping, almost like a skeleton wearing skin. What are you doing here, Rune?
And who might you be?
I but a messenger.
A messenger for who?
Go now.
Oh no, I have business here.
Very well. And he steps out to get a look at everybody in the audience. You may have heard about the demise of Sailix. Oh, you think it was the River Talons? No. No. This is what happens when you speak of the Scarlet Triad. Now, if anybody else feels so brave as to mention the name of my client, we will find you, your whole family. We'll kill them. So does anybody else feel brave? And he looks over to you. You notice there's something strange about him. His skin looks like it's peeling off almost. And he just looks at Rune. People are shocked, whispering among themselves. Some people
What does he smell
Genuinely
like? Like, can I smell him
terrified.
from where I'm
Decay. He just smells disgusting.
Rune has detect magic innately. Is there anything coming off of him?
No.
at? I will whisper to Diedrich. He smells dead.
Are you telling me that the Scarlet Triad attempted to kill a friend of mine?
We have not attempted. We have succeeded. Gallo! Suddenly appearing. A devil or demon, something many times larger than you, Rune, appears in his stead. He vanishes just in time as this demon approaches. Large scales. Breaking the sand underneath. Sailix, go ahead.
So, out of nowhere, you would be able to start hearing cracking of glass as the glass ceiling, dome ceiling of this war cage shatters and falls down like a javelin being thrown right in front of the thing that's approaching the sand. A shovel sticking directly into the sand. And as the glass falls down in a rain, wings can be seen as to you guys, the familiar form of Sailix kind of descends into the war cage, landing on top of the shovel that's sticking out of the ground. It comes to my attention that the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. And he kicks the shovel forward. I brought
Point
a
of
tool
order.
for you to help decide.
Sorry, point of order. When the glass started shattering, Aldonis would switch to wolf form, jump forward, and cover Rune with his body.
Sailix kind of kicked the shovel forward. It's like, I brought something for you to help finish the job this time.
This demon inches closer to you, snarling, but then looking at the wolf, the wizard, you, the angel, cocking its head, but then as it stands up, at first it was just crawling, and now it stands much taller than you as your wingspan opens to meet the challenge. Let's roll initiative.
Prior to the start, Rune looks at the creature. Oh, my dear Scarlet Triad, you have made a terrible mistake. You've crossed the line against the unforgotten. I will tear you down piece by piece.
And then you get knocked down by a giant warg. Oh god. Okay.
We're going to go just by the combat tracker, not on the map. So if you're targeting anything, just target through the combat tracker. It works exactly the same. Aldonis actually ruined your first in initiative.
It does show Aldonis as wounded currently.
Cleared.
Thanks.
I don't have a target option.
You should see it
Oh.
now.
Oops.
Yeah. All right. Rune is going to take the I done an Arcana check prior to the start of all this. Did I get any information on the demon?
How'd you do on that roll? Let's see. Yeah, you know it's a devil. And you know, yeah, you know devils hate good. Cold iron.
Okay. He's going to tap his staff or pull his staff close to him, grabbing at it as a shield appears in front of him. Using it to one action to cast the shield cantrip through the staff. And then he will follow that up with a... are they typically fire-based?
Demons? Oh, sorry, it's not a devil. It is a demon, actually.
Oh, demons, yeah.
No,
No.
they're not. They vary.
Very. Did my check allow me to figure out maybe what this one might use? What type of energy?
It's not really, they don't have any immunities or resistances that you know of, but they are weak to cold iron, as they are demons.
It's more about energies that they use. Like, does it throw fire or?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. No, this one isn't slinging that kind of no.
All right. He will throw up again using the staff. His last two actions to throw up resist energy to fire, and he will get 5 resistance to fire damage.
All right, is that your turn?
That is.
Aldonis.
I will take 2 steps in front of Rune so he can get up, but he has to get up behind me. And let out this like snarl that fills the entire arena. It's short, but I wish I could do the sound. But he bares his teeth and casts fear on the creature. He has to make a will save of 27.
He fails.
Oh, is that a critical
Critically.
fail?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the target is frightened 3 and fleeing for 1 round.
Describe what happens there.
So that snarl and the baring of teeth he doesn't mean for it to be this big, but it sends out like this pulse that goes into the creature, and you can see the creature's it's got wings, right? No, it doesn't. You can see the creature like visibly shake and close its mouth and start to take a few steps backward from the warg and the wizard behind him. I don't know where Sailix is on the map.
Like in front.
And he will say, "You will not break us."
Sailix, You're still at the center here. Your halo is a ring of fire, and it's illuminating what was supposed to be a meeting has now become a bit of an arena. Uh, People are cheering. I don't know if they knew what they were expecting with this, but suddenly they've got a show. Um, and maybe accidentally you're at the spotlight now, as this halo of fire sort of illuminates the entire battle. But do you move towards this demon as he backs up?
Um, hmm, yeah, he'd fly forward,
Yeah, you can clear the distance.
close in the distance, and with yak.
All right, you can target him in the combat tracker.
All right.
So one action will get you close to him. You have 2 actions left.
So
That's a hit.
all right. Not a critical, right?
Nope. Describe what you do here as you pursue him.
So as he kind of like takes those steps back, Sailix kind of like takes like 2 steps forward in like a running leap, and then his wings kind of sweep down, carrying him forward, and he just kind of, with only one, he only has one sword right now, and he just reaches up and slashes at it upward.
And with a scream, you haven't fought a demon in quite some time, but that sound is universal despite the diversity of demons. It's just a. You see spit coming out. Blood drips from his arms, but you think it's part of his body naturally. Demons like to be as scary as possible. You have an action left.
I will attack him again.
It's a hit. Roll damage.
Right. Is it critical? This is important information.
No, it's not.
Damn. All right.
Great work with the second swing, but now he's angry, and he moves closer. Suddenly, as he swipes at you with his claw. It's a miss as you dodge. Giving up on the claws, he moves in to bite you. Also a miss. And finally, an attack from his horns. Out of frustration, you dodge it a third time. Just the crowd starts to cheer. Even though some of these people you thought were your rivals, they're quite entertained by this. Rune.
Rune, watching his compatriots, takes a bit of the rubble and shards that had fallen to the ground. Simply looks at them and waves his cane towards the creature with a telekinetic projectile.
Excellent. .33 is a hit. Describe what happens here.
So Rune lifts up the debris that had crumbled to the ground from Sailix's arrival, as the glass shards sort of form into pulling together to form into spears as he flings each of them at the creature, piercing its skin and muscle.
Excellent. Aldonis, you have some distance to clear if you wanna reach this devil. It looks like Sailix is holding his own, but that's changed before.
I will get within 30 feet of Sailix. This is his fight, and he gets mad at me when I intrude on his fights. But I will get within 30 feet and I will yell at him, "Bring the thunder," and cast guidance on him. So
Excellent. Sailix, you feel eyes are on you at this moment. People thought you were dead. You can tell in their expression, but you don't want to get distracted by it. This Titan standing above you isn't a match for you as far as you can tell. What do you do?
He's going to keep on attacking. Well, that's all he can do. Oof.
That is a miss.
All right.
Now,
did that automatically add the +1 from guidance?
Oh, 27 is also a miss. It didn't add it, but 27's a miss as well. Make a reflex save for me, or an athletics check. As you make the swing, in his dodge, he manages to hook your weapon with his horns with the intention of disarming you.
All right.
You've been disarmed. Your sword flies across. In this de facto crowd, you hear a...
All right. I want to use where is it? Where's it at? I think it's this one. Is he within 2 sizes larger than me? Or is he bigger than that?
He is 2 sizes larger than you.
All right, so I want to use powerful shove.
All right.
Ian, would frightened, since he's frightened 3, would that
That would only been for his check.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to verify. But he's also fleeing, so I did move forward. So for his turn, he will have to move back.
Is that fleeing for more than 1 turn?
I will double check.
Okay.
Because it was a critical. He is fleeing for 1 round. So no.
Excellent. So Sailix, what are you doing?
So as his sword kind of falls out, Sailix just kind of takes the chance and darts in and kind of balls his 2 fists together and baseball swings an imaginary bat, but double hammer fist him right in the chest to knock him down.
Excellent. Are you rolling that, or am I rolling a saving throw?
I believe you roll a saving throw, and I don't know about DC still, so I don't have the unarmed attack on here.
Oh, so you're just making an attack roll. Make it as if it were a weapon, because you have the same proficiency.
Okay.
That's a hit.
All right.
Is this to knock him down or move him back?
This knocks him down, like flat prone on his back.
Excellent. Well, he was close to the wall there, so with a shove, he just smacks into the wall of this arena, and a crack ripples up. There's a gasp in the crowd. You are without your weapon. Do you have an action left?
I do. I would like to retrieve my weapon.
You can get over to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he's prone, or he should be a little far away.
As you're walking over to it, he gets up. I'm not done with you yet. I need you to make a save.
Which one?
Sailix, make a will save.
Ooh.
As you start to feel a strange sensation in your chest, the last words that he just spoke to you, they stick with you. That will save is a failure.
Oh.
Oh no.
You feel like you're being constrained, like there are chains closing in on you. You're enfeebled. Something seems wrong. This momentum you have, it's fleeting, and he seems to grow stronger, and he stands up and he walks towards you and he says, "Your soul is mine." You see the scar, the healing. His skin starts to repair itself. To your detriment, you feel weaker. As he moves closer to you, like he's about to harvest something. Like you're fruit to be picked. This moment of desperation, you notice a flash. Something metallic, red, something moves through his chest, flying through the air, just whizzes past, and you don't notice until it stops its path. He starts to bleed open, just down his chest. There's a dagger floating in the air, blood red, glowing, and it's making a strange sound before it whips back. As you follow it up into the crowd, a woman in leather, in robes and a cloak, takes it. Jen, what do you do?
So I feel like basically when the demon's just like, your soul is mine or whatever, she's just like, shut up! Throws it again.
Excellent.
So is this a second attack?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that work?
A 29 will not hit.
Alas, that would have been really cool if it hit. Okay. Then I guess question, because I have not played Rogue in Pathfinder.
There is a lot of damage dice, including persistent bleed damage.
Okay.
That I will calculate, but
Okay.
his chest is bleeding profusely
Sweet.
from that damage, unnaturally actually, as it's spitting out dark blood, but he's still standing. Demons are hard to kill.
I have one more action, so I would like to do something to get sneaky again, so I can use my sneak attacks. What if that is a thing I can do?
Suddenly, this figure, Sailix, Aldonis, Rune, vanishes again. After the dagger throws back, just gone.
I wasn't watching any of that. I was watching the demon, so I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I try to move to another position to attack him for the next time.
Rune. You're about 50 feet away from this thing now.
All right.
As it's moved back.
Rune watching a good friend of his. Perseid will once again grab hold of the staff, or grip on the staff, as an invisible, or a shield just appears in front of him. He'll move a bit closer, navigating around this weird creature that jumped on him. Person that jumped on him.
Well, no, I changed back into wolf form. You know it's me.
Oh, gotcha.
I just have cool piercings now over
So
my
you-
brows.
Yeah, so you've seen this. You've seen Aldonis's
You
Yeah,
just had
transformation.
so you saw my transformation as I was jumping on top of you.
legit. Rune will then begin moving his hands and arms into a pattern and attempt to. Where's the cast?
It succeeds the save.
All right.
Well, actually, what's the DC? Because it should.
DC's
It's actually got a
27.
24.
Oh,
So it fails the save. Because
Hey.
it's been enfeebled. Or
the
frightened.
target is paralyzed for a round. So as Rune finishes casting the spell, this sort of ephemeral raven, just sort of large and then towering over it, just clamps onto it, keeping it in place
Ooh,
as the image fades.
it locks up every part of it, unmoving, save for the wound in its chest. Aldonis, you have an opportunity here.
Decisions are hard. I want to end this quickly. I want to have it make a will save so that I can cast Shadow Blast. Or no, I'm sorry, Banishment.
27.
27 is my AC.
It's the DC of the will
Yeah.
save?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a success.
Okay. So that didn't work. So I have one action left. So I'm gonna cast harm on it. Just a regular harm.
Classic harm.
Classic harm. Oops. I only meant to cast that once.
It's fine. It got a success on its save.
Alright, so nothing happens.
Is it a basic save? Is it half damage?
Let me check.
I think it is.
It was just a if the target is a living creature, you deal 1.
Just roll damage and we'll do half. It should
Okay.
automatically calculate it.
All right.
Half damage. Yeah, took it as half.
All right.
Sailix,
Yes.
this enemy, your doom that you feel those chains constricting around you. They haven't quite lifted yet. This thing stands before you, towering above you, but paralyzed. It's prey
There's
to
a
you.
-2 to AC.
The sword is at your feet, and there's a crowd around you, waiting to see what you do.
I grab my sword and I take off. His intention is to pretty much he's full speed ahead, at the target, the thing's chest, and he's immediately going to try to tear through that hole that was made in it and burst on the other side.
All right. And is that an action to? Well, you pick it up as a two-handed weapon. So then, go ahead and make an attack roll. You have 2 actions left.
All right. Oh shit! Sorry, I rolled it in the tower.
That's fine. 27 is a hit.
All right.
Thanks to the paralyzation. Look at you guys synergizing. Debuff task force.
Like we were never apart.
Only it was before, then my knife would have hit it.
Your weapon is in, and you've made that motion, but he's extremely strong. He doesn't move, but his eyes sort of look down on you. You feel that constriction again. You have another attack, and the weapon is in if you would like to try to do more damage.
Yeah, no, he definitely wants to.
Roll it.
Try. I'm sorry, I'm so used to using the tower.
That is a critical failure.
Can I use a hero point?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Okay. Here we go again.
That is a success.
Awesome.
You've hit. Roll damage. Moving down his torso, you can see through to the other side, but he's still just... You can hear him powering through it. Demons are really something else. When does the paralyzation end? After he's missed a turn, I imagine?
Also,
That is correct.
Quick thing. He is burning right now.
Bleeding.
Because we did not, we only added the 1d6, but now Sailix has the scorching arm as well, that we didn't add the d6 damage in.
Oh, right. Yes. So in addition to a clap of thunder as that blade drove in, you notice his body starts to burn as the sword ignites from within. He's also still bleeding profusely from the dagger that ripped through him. Diedrich has jumped down into the sand in disbelief, but then looking for this person that has vanished. Do they reappear?
Oh yes, I want to stab him again.
From a distance?
I'm gonna say that she's moved a little bit closer. But like
Into the pit or still up above?
Sure, into the pit.
Into the pit. Diedrich approaches Rune looking for this. Where is she?
I'm hero pointing that. Hero
Do
pointing.
it.
Okay.
He jumped down immediately after this dagger flew away out of the crowd into the
Does that hit?
the pit. 27 does hit.
Yes. Okay.
Roll damage.
Okay. Do I roll bleed too? Like all of these?
Everything except for the crit. Yep.
Okay. So knife plus bleed plus sneak attack.
Whew.
Excellent.
Well, wait, I get a second attack, don't I?
Yep.
Okay.
Should have one attack left because you've moved.
That doesn't hit?
It's not a hit.
Okay.
The blade swings around as a miss, but returns to your hand again. Diedrich has spotted you, though. Someone is moving closer to you, towards you. Rune, it's your turn. You notice Diedrich approaching, maybe potentially trying to apprehend this sea elf? What do you do?
Rune, I presume the creature is still up and standing, yeah?
He is.
Rune will pull the cane close to him as just a hint of a harlequin mask sort of etched into his vest
Right.
as a fiery image of that same harlequin mask appears above the staff as he casts Divine Lance good at the creature.
Excellent. Roll it. Hmm. What else do you do this turn?
Watching it slide across the creature, he will.
The
Well-
lance has always been known to be a volatile magic. It's hard to encode purpose with things that are designed to seek out a target, and you notice now that perhaps it's made some sort of miscalculation. Aldonis, you've been stabbed with a lance. It's turned around and redirected itself. Suddenly it's embedded in your shoulder. Rune, how do you react to this?
It hurts a lot. I howl.
Rune just growls to himself.
Mm.
Lesson learned. Well played.
Do you do anything else?
No. Just shield. Again.
All right, but roll damage for the lance. Aldonis, it's your
Oh
turn.
no!
Yeah, well, I am an evil cleric, so
Just a small reminder,
yeah.
I suppose.
Oh my god.
It's all right. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine.
This is cool.
Where are
This
you?
is cool. Everything's
Cool.
on fire.
We're
Everything.
all fine here.
Yeah. Apparently, when I cast guidance earlier, I didn't mark it. Oh, it's a cantrip, so never mind.
Yep.
I won't worry about it then. Shiza. I will. I will look at the creature, open my third eye, and I will say, "Burn with cold," and I will do chilling darkness at third level. Still targeting. I'm not targeting him, so let me do that. And cast is a hit.
It is a hit.
So take 16 cold. Is he celestial?
He's not.
Okay, then that's all that it does. And nope. That's all I can do right now.
Excellent.
I'll lick my wound or try to lick my wound and see that
His
there's nothing there.
paralyzation-
See as there's nothing there and be like, shit.
His paralyzation wears off. The first thing he says to Sailix, "You're mine." And then he gets low enough to look at him. His claws are measured in feet of length and digs them into the sand. You see dirt, maybe stones, like the foundation kind of ripping up, so he can get close. And he says, "What'll it be then?" And you go ahead and make your attacks, Sailix. Or what do you do?
He looks at him and he's like, when he says, "You're mine," he's like, "Well, get in line." Ugh. Womp.
It's a miss. What else do you do?
Another attack. Actually, if I were to, I have my secondary sword here, right?
You do. It's sheathed.
Can I use it as an action to unsheath it and then use
Yep.
double slice?
Go ahead.
All right.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
All right. So. Hold up. Oh, that didn't work. There we go.
So the first sword he predicts He predicted it the last time you attacked. He's quite clever, and he knows how to fight people armed for traditional style of combat because he locks his horn expertly when you jam the weapon with both of your hands. But what he doesn't expect is for you to reach for the sheathed sword. He wasn't paying attention. Emerging in your arm, your blue arm, is another sword immediately infused with the thundering property, and as you drive it in, he collapses. He falls to the ground with a loud thud. The arena shakes a bit, and the crowd screams.
Sailix makes a show of ripping the swords out of him, and he just kind of like holds his arms in there, and he's like,
Wings out.
"If you want to kill me, send better." And then he goes over to Aldonis to make sure he's okay.
Some people are moving down to investigate, see what happens. Everything's a bit chaotic. Jen, you are grabbed by Diedrich. You know him. He grabs you by the wrist.
Is
Rune,
this
you're
a
not far.
friendly grab, or is this I should get
It's
stabby
apprehensive.
grab? Okay.
It's not a challenge in the sense that you should go killing anybody, and you know
Yeah.
better than to kill somebody in the war cage unless, they're a literal demon. But Diedrich is no literal demon, and he seems inquisitive, if a bit heavy-handed, but he grabs you by the wrist. You notice he has that armor that just smells like the sea, and made of solid rock, and he lifts your hand. Where did you get that weapon?
Cedric, how you doing today? Long time no see. How you been?
He looks down at your neck. I forgot you're a Talon now.
Hi.
Theobald. He gave it to you. Did you steal it?
She just looks at him. Do you really think I could steal from Theobald?
It would be impossible. That thing is powerful. The weapon's cursed. And don't... Rune, what are you doing here? Diedrich is going to make his way, distracted by the number of things that is stressing him out at this moment.
My large friend.
Hmm.
Calm down a bit. Yeah.
That was great seeing you, Diedrich. Since there's no one violating any more rules, I'm just gonna go.
So, real quick question. Would Rune approach Eldonis? Because when Sailix got to him to make sure he's okay, would Rune, approach?
That's a good question. Let's do that. You go to Aldonis.
Yeah.
Is
Uh,
Aldana still hurt?
Yeah, and also I shift back into my sort of human form.
So, as Rune, gets closer, Sailix, holds up a sword at him, and he's like, "If you get closer, I will cut you down." He's like, "You've done enough."
Sailix, he didn't mean to hit me. Even
Rune
I
holds
know
up
that.
Rune holds up his hands and his staff. I meant no harm. None at all.
You never
Will you allow me
do.
to heal it?
That's the problem. Never mean any harm. It just follows you.
That's a fair point. Why don't you let me fix my problem, huh? Let me fix it up.
Felix would look to Eldonis and just kind of scruff him on the back of the head and just kind of let him go, turning around to look at Diedrich.
Aldonis will pointedly look at your chest because your chest is flashing different colors.
All right. Underneath the locket that he, the locket clasp that he built, what color is it flashing right now?
It is flashing. Hang on. Between red and green, it looks like a fucking Christmas ornament.
He just kind of like pats and he's like, yeah, I hear you, I hear you.
Diedrich going to look at Rune. You're supposed to be in prison. You're supposed to be dead, and you're
There's a lot of things There's a lot of things that are supposed to be right now. You are clearly out of touch. Give me a moment.
out of touch. Out of touch. Fantastic.
Diedrich, it's fine. We will get oysters after this and you will calm down.
Well, half the city knows by now that Rune, who has escaped this morning, mind you, is suddenly before us. The Torrent wants him for arrest.
I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason that he's here. But first, can we deal with my fucking shoulder? Sounds awfully like Monica at that moment.
I can help a little bit.
Let's stop bleeding anyway. It's one thing Lamish 2 doesn't really help me with.
While you guys are arguing, Sailix very pointedly goes back and he's chopping things off of this demon.
Save me some!
He's just, ha!
I come here because several problems, not including that one, as he looks to the demon, confluence on a single location. And I was hoping to resolve some leftover debts.
Your arrival is interesting timing.
Interesting indeed, Diedrich says.
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't on purpose.
Diedrich, what all of all your friends brought here to my war cage?
Your war cage? I've never seen you before, and I've been here plenty of times.
That's because I'm a bit too high up for you.
Well, la-di-da.
Mm.
Maybe get your hands dirty every once in a while. You might be more connected to people.
Eldonis, be nice.
So like at that, like she's going to very pointedly look at the blade as if she's like
You
listening to
notice this weapon, this elf, she holds it like it's a dagger. It's a kukri, and it is making a strange noise. Black smoke coming off of it. Rune, you notice Diedrich tests it in some way. You notice a strange energy about it. You can make a check if you would like, but it sounds to you, Aldonis, like it's whispering.
Does
This
it?
Arcana, I'm
woman.
guessing, yeah?
What's it saying?
Yeah. Dark things in a non-language.
like it's one of those things where like she's like listening to it obviously and then looking at Aldonis and like looking at it and it's like
Aldonis
You
gives
can
you a
see-
tiny smirk.
you can see her like where she's like, I really shouldn't, but also this sounds like a very good idea.
Things that
Well-
whisper to you can both be a good idea and a really bad idea.
Does Rune hear the whispering?
Faintly. It's
Is
that
it
negative space. It's almost like the lack of sound coming from it.
Is it abyssal or anything of that sort? Because he does speak those darker
Also,
languages.
do I still have like all the other talents behind me?
It's speaking in Dwarven. The
Dwarven.
talons are up above. Some have actually moved down. They're afraid of a confrontation. A few of them moving.
What are
closer.
the Ravens doing?
They're up above. They're looking for you for guidance.
He kind of like holds a hand up and just shakes his head. And he's like, Aldonis, we're going to be nice now. She helped us.
I'm always nice.
She helped us, so that counts as getting your hands dirty. She didn't need to.
Teenager eye roll happening right now.
So I feel like this is one of those things too, where like she would like lick the blood off of the blade and then look at it and be like, "You're right about that."
Did you say you were with the Talons?
Aye, didn't the neck tattoo give it away?
Little bit, yeah. When did they start worshipping Norgormer?
Eh?
He didn't tell you, Diedrich says.
Nah.
That little blade you got there. It's from the Skin Saw cult. Followers of Norgormer. That kukri is cursed, lass. And you're fucked.
I mean,
I like it when you curse.
So whatever deal you think you got the short end of the stick. Congratulations.
Sailix will. So how? I can fly while holding somebody, correct?
Depends on the somebody.
Rune's not that heavy.
You can fly while holding rune.
Sailix looks at Rune, and as he's like kind of running towards him, like he winks at Aldonis and grabs him, takes off through the hole in the ceiling he made earlier to get him away from Diedrich.
Son of
Rune,
a
do you
bitch.
take action to resist this?
Did he see the wink? That's the question.
Perception check.
He wouldn't have hit it like that bad because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
standing right next to Aldonis.
You will have seen it.
All right. He'll make an honest deception check to feign attempting to get out of the way.
Swooped up and out the ceiling just as the Hell Knight order of the torrent arrives for the arrest of the fugitive, the wanted criminal, Rune Ravenswood. Diedrich puts his hand in his head. I've got this under control, he says to the officers looking to arrest the man he promised he had already taken care of. Now,
Poor Diedrich.
Aldonis, I'm sure you know what that cue means, but
Yeah. But I'll make sure Diedrich is calmed down before I go home.
right. And Vesparin, what do you do?
I
Can
mean,
try to track this. Wait a second. You're one of the fastest people you have ever met. And you've met birds. So you think you might be able to outrun this guy.
well,
Where's he going? So Rune was
Okay.
a criminal. He was arrested for the original conspiracy to destroy the rebellion uprising in Cantargo. He's wanted for a laundry list of crimes. The details are a little bit vague, but they think he holds some dark power. And he allegedly escaped prison
Okay.
today.
Okay.
The Order of the Torrent want him. Maybe he's related to all of the shenanigans. Sailix just took him and left. So if you would like to try to follow, your skills as a roof runner are legendary. If you'd like to make a pursuit, but I also see your character is not really giving a shit.
I am kind of like on the again, from what I understand, my directive was basically go see if there's a conflict about this guy being dead. Obviously he's not dead.
As you know it now,
Yeah.
it appears somebody has framed
Mhm.
the River Talons.
Okay.
So
I
but
guess
you don't have any idea. You think maybe it was the Scarlet Triad, but where is Rune in all of this?
I guess I will try to track them then.
Right.
Because they did seem to know about the Triad and whatever.
So,
Can I make a reflex save to try and grab her cloak before she goes running?
You're willing to. You can try.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I can turn invisible, so.
Right, but like
Vesparin, make a reflex save for me.
Okay.
As suddenly, as you try to take off, you calculate a path up to the roof there with the opening in the ceiling, but you can't make a movement as suddenly this warg lunges at you in humanoid form.
And
Vesparin is.
I just look at you and say, calm down. You don't have to
Well-
run.
You roll out of the way.
I was gonna say that's like some
No, you're-
matrix dodging.
You might have let on that you were trapped here just to give an opportunity to make a dodge, a shoulder roll, and suddenly.
Wait. Idea. Can this be that crouching tiger moment where Aldonis lunges to grab the thing and like she instead lightly bounces on his nose and then uses that to jump
Yes.
up?
Well, I mean, I'm in human form, so it would be my
Okay.
arm, but yeah.
That works.
Yes. And in just 3 paces, you've cleared the ceiling. Bits of it chip in because you put your weight on it, and it starts to crumble a bit.
I'll
As she
nudge.
flies out,
You
she's
see
just
wings.
like, consent is sexy.
You see wings in the night sky headed over to Old Kintargo.
Are all elves this weird? I asked Dietrich.
Yes. That's it.
Okay.
So Sailix.
TLDR, I get him oysters and get him calmed the fuck down.
Exactly.
Sailix took the most direct route. He didn't fly over the bridge. He flew over the river. To go straight to his place.
Pinch for time. Vesperin, you make a split-second decision to utilize some implementations you've paid for on the Bleak Bridge, quickly losing this angel as he flies away. You make a leap of faith on an untested zip line you had installed just a week ago, gliding straight down to the old harbor. It's a direct path as well. From there, you're just a couple of blocks away. Suddenly, you come upon a nice house in the middle of a pretty scrappy neighborhood. There are markets a few blocks away, and Old Kintargo definitely has a nightlife, but in this area, you expect slums, and there's actually a newly built manor. Describe the outside, Sailix.
So outside, it looks. It's not very lavish looking, but you can tell it's nicer than any of its surroundings. It
Right.
has just regular granite walls. They are pretty tall with spikes lining around them, and it does have a phoenix rising on one side, and then on the other side, or not a phoenix, but more like looks like angel wings that are on fire, and then the other side, thunderbolts around the door frame. Inside of the thunderbolts, it has a name written in Celestial, and you can't really make it out unless you can read Celestial.
There is a balcony on the second floor. That's where he's landed. You notice the door's ajar because it's decent weather, and he might be waiting to shut it. You've made that kind of a jump before. If you'd like to try to sneak in.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, you remember you used your cloak already, so invisibility isn't an option here, but
Stealth?
you're next to invisible with the right crowd. A stealth check. As you make your way up to creep in, maybe get a peek at what's going on here.
Not super great,
For the sake of your talons, Sailix, make a perception check. Opposed to this. Also describe what the inside of this second floor looks like. It's probably a bedroom, I imagine.
Yep. It's just a bedroom. It has a bed, actually, like when you come in, it's just pretty much all bed everywhere. Pillows just kind of askew, and then it has like a step down to get onto a path walking outside. But other than that, there is a little bathhouse looking area right off of it.
Mm. You've spotted a follower. Whether or not you alert them to this, they don't know that they've been spotted. Perhaps, but you know that they're in the other side of the door. It's double doors that lead out to that balcony. You only use for your dramatic landings. Rune, you can make a perception check if you would like, but it's likely that you haven't caught on just yet. But you do notice this room that you've been brought into. Oh, you notice.
Sailix sets him down and kind of walks
your bedroom.
off.
What do you do, Rune?
As he walks away, we have a guest.
Yeah, I know. So just play along.
But you hear that though, that conversation between the two of them. You have an opportunity here to do something before you've been made. If you want to just reveal yourself, that's fine. You can also just dip. It's up to you. You have a
The
moment
door
here.
is left, like he didn't close it all the way, so the
All
door
right.
is left.
I feel that with what's been going on so far, this is kind of an extra as fuck character. So she would take the opportunity to just swag rock in and be like, hello. I got some questions.
And I have to start locking my door.
Do you remove your cloak, or is it the
Uh,
kind of thing you wear at all occasions
oh, she'd
in
wear it.
its glorious feathers?
I mean,
Describe-
it's fantastic. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you wear it?
Just
let
Flying
me
in
know
behind
at
you
what-
are two ravens that come to land on Rune's shoulders.
Just let me know when I arrive.
She would like look at Sailix when he says the thing about locking the doors, like, oh, you're funny.
Sailix will look at her shoes and be like, you're standing on my bed. Shoes off or get outside. And he'll walk outside.
Rune will follow.
I guess she would also follow, just kind of confused, like, I don't understand what's happening. These guys are weird.
So as you walk outside to the only room on the second floor would be the bed in like the bathing area, and then it kind of looks like an old style Roman courtyard where
Okay.
they set up training dummies and
Okay.
just racks upon racks of weapons. And then he does have a extra as fuck.
Mhm.
And when I say extra, like he probably put like a few months' salary into having this sculpture made of Reika in the courtyard.
Oh! Oh! Oh, my heart! Oh my god!
And he sits there and like he takes off, like he also has on his armor, it's an R. Like I'll send you the picture, but it's an R on his armor, and he'll take it off and he'll like make sure the blood's cleared, and he'll kind of like put it at the base of the statue.
Coming into the entrance is a man you sometimes know to take the form of a warg, to others vice versa, but Aldonis, you enter
Yeah.
Where was that statue? Sorry.
in the courtyard,
Yeah, right in the courtyard.
right by the entrance. So you guys have
Rune will-
moved down the stairs and outside.
Yeah, Rune will
Uh,
walk over to the statue.
and Aldonis will come in and be like, Sailix, we have a guest.
You see Rune now, and just for context, you haven't seen Rune in nearly a year. That might be a small thing for Sailix, but for Aldonis, I imagine that's quite something different. Now it is dead silent. The city is unreasonably quiet. Usually there's something going on, but now it's just crickets and the awkward presence of a friend you haven't seen in countless months.
I'm not talking about you for once.
Who did you
Uh,
bring?
Demiri showed up today. She's in my room.
You see like a flash of rage flow over Salix's face, quickly replaced by like stoicism. He's like,
What?
I thought
Rune
we
just
talked.
standing in front of the Reika statue, just his head bowed, just it cocks just a little at the name Demiri.
Thought we talked about letting people stay in the house without letting me know first.
You were dead.
Right, about
I
that.
had breakfast with you this morning, Eldonis.
Right. But she showed up. She showed up and she's been traveling for weeks to see me because apparently it's my birthday. It's really my birthday. So
Birthday, Spud.
thanks. So she showed up and she's like my second mother, so I had to give her some place to rest. And everything happened at the thing, and and you're back. He stares
I
at.
was. Oh,
I'm
he
not
stares at
talking.
Rune.
He stares at Rune. Goes. You're
Rune,
back. Why? Wait, I'm confused.
So at the as Rune turns around, anyone staring in that direction will see a shaft of wood laying at the foot of the Reika statue. Yes, why am I here? That's a good question. So, to say the least, I've been stuck someplace, as I'm sure you can imagine. And
Yeah, you look like
wasn't-
shit.
pardon me, what?
You look like shit.
Shit.
I thought it looked pretty good, thank you.
Resemble it.
That's fair coming from
Now,
you.
go
That's
ahead and
fair.
describe your appearance and how it might contrast with the imprisoned seafaring Rune that you
So-
last saw, who was locked away.
Yeah, so this Rune, he's wearing some fairly form-fitting clothing, outlining his still relatively fit form. He's got a long coat, a sort of half-long coat hangs down to his mid-thigh. Under that is a vest, and below that is the reminiscent white sort of undershirt that he used to wear. Hanging around his neck is the familiar crest that I'm not sure if you ever told anyone about, but it houses an image of a raven of sorts, or at least depiction thereof.
You haven't told anybody that's currently alive
No, fair
about
enough.
that. So
But yes, it's a fairly it's a large-ish pendant. The red gem and encrusted on the gem itself is that image of the raven. His hair is still jet black, a bit longer in the front, clean shaven. His eyes are still a piercing amber,
That's
pure
different.
amber color.
From when you last saw him, he was tan, and with a beard,
He is
looks-
not anymore. He is a pale white.
Sailix,
Sailix would look
what color's
jealous.
your amulet right now? I suppose I have to
color
ask
is it?
Spence that.
it's going between blue and green. Like it's slowly fading back and forth.
Yeah. Rune, you
Um,
remember the mystery surrounding this thing, the peculiar circumstances at the ruins of Bedariel. It was behaving strangely, and you have a hypothesis, but nevertheless, it acts differently near you. Sailix, you
Is
can
that
show
her?
the
Or
clasp
just some echo
if you
of
would
her?
like.
What'd you say?
Is that her or just some echo of her?
Maybe just an echo. Maybe something got trapped and left in this behind.
Hmm.
Right. All this is very fascinating, but I got some questions for you. Like, you were supposed to be dead,
You.
and now you're alive, and
There's
some
there's-
fucking triad fucked after
listen,
it.
she-elf. There is a lot going on
That's
here right now.
racist here, and I do not appreciate
Aldonis.
any of that.
What?
That is enough of the mouth, sir, or you will go to bed hungry tonight. We have a guest, and you will treat them as such, sir.
They weren't invited.
I am aware. They came in through my bedroom door.
That's what the River Talons do. That's the Talons' invitation.
Yeah,
Teenager!
it was.
All right,
the
then.
door was open. What are you expecting?
Lord Sailix, how would you like to handle these series of events? Who gets to speak first, and what questions do you have? This is your house, after all.
Well, we were so fervently followed, so I feel it only necessary to answer. What is your name, ma'am?
They call me the Vesparin.
Miss Vesparin's questions first, and then we can handle our business in private.
Anybody
Miss
speak
Vesparin.
dwarf?
Say again?
Anybody speak dwarf?
I don't. I speak very few languages.
You know, it's common among the River Talons. They speak dwarf. That's why I ask. But
Where's our dwarf at?
right now, you do have a great room for meetings. It's a war room, despite the lack of a need for it. It's more of a hobby for you. But if you'd like to move out, the sound of cats fighting just outside of the courtyard walls is a bit distracting here. In this moment of great confusion.
Sailix will move to one of the side areas off of the courtyard, which like you walk through over the sand and like into under an awning and open the doors, like double doors. He does it super dramatically, opens them, and there is a table which it looks like it's been used a few times, maybe when he had a few meetings with the Crimson Ravens. But other than that, it's of disuse.
Now, Vesperin, you know the Crimson Ravens are a bunch of self-righteous a-holes. Their weapon of choice, despite the drawbacks, is typically hammers.
Okay.
In that they can brutalize people to the most gruesome extent. They claim they don't enjoy the violence that they must inflict to keep the city safe and free of corruption, but you know that's a very thinly veiled lie. If they see evil within the city's walls, they will go to great lengths to see that evil beaten to death. And it's just a bit much to you. All of this fanfare, a war room, that's typical of somebody high-ranking in the Crimson Ravens, you like to think. And on the other side of that, Sailix, the River Talons to you are stuck-up vigilantes that think they single-handedly control the city through their redistribution of wealth. So that's the tension in the room. Go ahead as you file in.
As comes in, he'll kind of like yank a chair back. He's like, "Please, Vesperin, have a seat."
I feel like as he does that, like you just hear her like say under her breath, like, "Not now," to the sword.
Ooh. Rune, how do you take that? Because you do see that. You see that little interaction here. Now, however, this seems a bit different to you. You know what it's like for somebody to fall under the influence of dark magic, but this seems like a different relationship.
Yeah, like it's very obvious, like it's more just like she's like talking to a kid who's too excited and she's just like,
yeah, and that's
shut
strange.
up.
You can't tell if Vesperin is in control of the situation or quite naive. She's about your
Vesperin?
age, though.
I would ask you to do me a favor.
Mm.
Do not vaguely threaten a friend of mine, please.
I'm not threatening anything.
You and I both know what you're talking to and what you're dealing with. Do
Hey.
not vaguely threaten a friend of mine, or indirectly threaten a friend of mine, if you don't mind.
Well,
Please.
then just shut it.
It'll listen to you quietly in your head, I have no doubt. Thank you.
I mean, do you want me to not tell it to shut it? It's very annoying sometimes.
But that is a you problem.
So the Dumbuge in the room is somebody tried to kill Sailix. Sailix, you believe it to be the River Talons. You happen to have caught a Talon. So what do? You own you have the floor here. You own the floor here.
He'll kind of sit in his own chair and pop his feet up on the table and be like, "Well, your people tried to kill me.
Ah,
I believe they were hired, from understanding of what I heard from that man earlier, that they were hired by the Triad."
Ian, Theobald very clearly said it wasn't us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To his knowledge, unless there's a coup coming, you don't think so. River
Okay.
Talons don't. That's not a fight
Yeah.
they're trying to pick. And allegedly, according to eyewitnesses, it took 6 people to bring him down. Now, you are really close with a lot of people. If 6 people were involved, you probably would have figured it out by now.
Yeah. Okay.
But so as far as, yeah.
So, I'm going to stop you right there. A few things, okay? Number one, we ain't got no business with you. We don't give a shit. I'm just going to be like, I don't even know who you is, or why you're important. I'm guessing it's because of, Mr. I and Mighty Raven fuck over there. No offense, sir. But, obviously, you gone and done it with some fucker in the triad or whatever, and he gone and drug us all into it. So my question is, why is our name coming out of their lips in regards to you?
Well, Sailix, you do know you were the first person in this town to speak openly of the Triad, so this mess leads back to you one way or another. At least where the Triad's concerned. But go ahead.
Well, you see, the Triad corrupts everything that it touches. So, if it has even come in contact with the Talons, you were corrupted. And my job as a Crimson Raven is to, and he'll lean forward on the table, is to beat corruption within an inch of its life, and with its last final breaths, have it spew out that it's sorry before stomping its life out in front of the general public.
All
Aye,
right, now.
and you've been
hold
real
on,
successful.
Hold
Rune, you
on
might
right
be
now.
realizing just how much of the ale Salix has been drinking from the Crimson Ravens. You know them to be a bit of a cult of personality, but Salix has definitely he's bought into it.
Let's pause this conversation for just a moment, shall we? First of all, Crimson Ravens are a bunch of ruffians that beat people with bats. But there's a reason for that, and that's fine. The River Talons, a bunch of weird thieves. At any rate,
Noble thieves.
that's questionable. Here's the bigger question. After 20 years of peace, what on earth would either side gain from crumbling it?
Chaos.
So again, I'm going to just put this out there, right? Like, you said there was 6 men, right? Who gone and done fucked you up? 6.
Yes, 6, as you so eloquently put.
So let's look at this logically, okay? Again, that's a lot of people to share a secret and keep from their brothers that they all is working for someone else, yeah? Like, sooner or later, one of them is gonna slip up, unless they is all perfect motherfuckers. But obviously, if you dispatched them easy like, they ain't perfect. So again, like, is it not way more likely some motherfucker set us both up and we should go and do him in? Eh?
So, Sailix will like look around her and look at Aldonis in the room, licking his wound, and was like, "Why are you out there?
What?
You are part of this talk. Sit with the
Oh,
adults. Throw your temper tantrum later."
I have nothing to add to this. This has nothing to do with Albatross.
And he'll
And
slide the chair out, and he's like, "Then learn diplomacy. Not from me, from Rune."
sorry.
And he'll
So
just
I
kind
feel
of
like
gesture to the
Vespa would just like turn her chair over to look at Ruin and just be like, "Are you sure this is your friends, eh?"
He's as
You get a
close to
lot of
family
shit.
as we get.
I
How does-
deserve it, really.
How does Corvus like that cloak of raven feathers?
It's so pretty and feathery. Can I sleep in it?
I love it.
He already has
Like
his
that?
own.
I mean,
Jeez.
can I sleep with
Aw.
you?
Oh, it's real comfy.
Hi, Jerkbird. He's
So-
You're taller with less legs.
well. No, I've shifted back to warg form.
You're smaller with more legs.
Yeah, well, you're still annoying. Honestly, like,
I have years of practice.
so Sailix, how did you know that they were gonna come for you earlier? Like, because you
Who was
told
gonna
me
come
that
for me?
you told me that you were dead this morning, or you were like,
What?
I did.
How could he tell you that he was dead if he was talking to you while alive?
well, if you stop talking for a second, he can explain.
So,
Oh, before, yes, Salix will explain this, but do you notice, Vesperin, that
Mhm.
Aldonis wears the emblem of the albatross? The albatross is a lawful order of peacekeepers within the city. They don't perform arrests. They mostly guard the coast and protect the city from monsters and neighboring enemies, but they're mostly made up of sea elves. It's weird to see a sea elf in the River Talons because it doesn't happen. They all join Albatross because Albatross is basically a union for them, representing them and how they protect the coast and the sea trade routes.
Okay.
It's weird to see also a warg in Albatross. So there's probably a mutual understanding of both of you sort of maybe even being in switched places here. But that being said, any member of Albatross probably has a respect for most sea elves, but maybe not a
Yeah.
Talon.
I feel like again, she just like looked down at the knife and then look at Eldonis.
No.
Just like, and you can just see her like really thinking about it.
Alex. Go explain why the rumors of your demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
So, what happened last night was I was coming home, and 6 river talons, or people who were dressed as river talons.
Yeah, because we all look alike.
When it's dark, you can barely tell anything, but if they're in the same clothing, you can understand who they're representing.
6 people in river talon get up with cloaks pulled over their heads, attacked me. I did my best to fend them off, here and there, and I took a fall. I was lucky enough not to die in a gutter that night. Got here, had a few hours of sleep, woke up, had breakfast with Adonis, and then...
Oh, that's why you looked like that. You just looked like you had a bad sparring match, so I healed you while you were sleeping.
And I went to the war cage where I heard this. I also had let some people know That's why so many Crimson Ravens were there.
So rather than investigate or talk to anyone, you just made declarations and accusations and let everyone think you was dead. So we nearly went to war. If I'm understanding that correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, it's not entirely a bad plan. It succeeded, really.
But it seems to me like, Mr. Magic Arms over there, actually let the real culprit escape.
Oh, so
Well,
I was supposed to heal myself, pull myself from the gutter, chase after these
No,
people
no,
who
no,
tried to
no,
kill
no, no, no,
me.
no. See, the motherfucker who,
Today. She's referencing today.
yeah, that
The thing
guy
with
who
that
was
is,
all like, "Oh, I'm from the Triad, and I'm here to be
there's no way
mad."
the Triad was gonna just allow a representative to be actually there.
We're
Hence
also
the reason we
ignoring
had
that
a
there was a demon.
undead visitor with a demon to follow up.
Yeah.
Right. So
He couldn't exactly go chase after the guy when there was a big frickin' demon. I said frickin', not fucking. I'm trying.
the thing that you can probably take back to your people are that either someone's doing a really good job of impersonating your people, and framing your
Gotcha.
talons of murder and just setting you up in general, or your people have been bought off. Two things can be true. So that is what I have for you. I can let you know after the information. I will take this to the other ravens, and I can assure you there will be no war started on our part.
War is bad for the city in general. Yeah, like we can at least agree to that. Aye.
He kind of like, every once in a while, it might be beneficial if the factions were bled a little bit.
But in this instance, the most likely thing is that a third party is fucking with us.
About 95% sure.
So
Hmm.
I would like to agree to a deal where if ravens start attacking any of our blokes and talons similarly, we let each other know. Because again, I think it's in our best interest to not go to war unless it's actually our original idea, eh?
I can agree to that.
Good
All
job.
right then. If there's nothing else you have for me, I'm gonna be on my way.
Absolutely.
Well,
Let me, walk
In
you
fairness,
through
there's still something.
Oh,
Yeah, well, it's a really good chance that Triad is really all about this. And be a bit better if we could find out some more details about what they're up to, why they're doing about this.
Yeah. You seem to know a lot about them. Do
That's
you?
questionable, really.
I mean, you knew or you came off like you know more than I do. So I'm just
That's
gonna
probably accurate, yeah.
yeah. So Do you have any idea why they would be interested in provocating something like this?
Well, those demons involved, and so there's a good chance that you're trying to cause a bit of an issue with the town again to take it over.
There is also the question of what is Boz's status, and if she made good on her
Boz.
promise.
Who is this Voss person?
A bitch.
Well, that's
Okay. Gonna have to be a bit more specific.
that's a story
Know
for
a
another
lot
day,
of them.
really.
Dated
Sailix,
some.
go ahead and cut the commotion. If you'd like to speak up.
I have a. The triad is probably more active now because I was asking questions.
That seems
That
par for the course, really.
Your amulet starts to turn a little red.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
He'll pick it up and put it in like inside of his breastplate.
Oh, don't put it away. It's kind of pretty.
Oh, hold on now. So the short story is the triad is just trying to take over something here, and the best way to do that is to cause a bit of a ruckus amongst the factions, wouldn't you say? Cause chaos.
So,
Get there in the middle of it.
as far as I can tell, the Triad has so many people in so many places, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to have them running the city as a shadow government. But that's just extreme generalizations with nothing really to back it up.
I'd say it's probably true, to be completely honest. I mean, they've proven that how far reach they can go. Boz was proof of that, really. Question is, they're probably attempting to use the gates to expand their reach.
But how
That
would
way they could get wherever they need to using just the gates.
Now, what's this about gates now?
Sailix, you might even be a little bit agitated right now because every effort you put into learning more about the gates came up as a dead end. Without Rune, it was probably a little bit different to be the investigator, and being violent only goes so far when people just don't know what you're talking about. But it sounds like Rune might know something.
Like his right arm, the one that's glowing orangish red, he kind of like taps a finger several times on the table, and every time it taps, like scorching marks spread out from it.
Rune, don't set the Sailix, fire bad.
The sort of reddish tinted, purplish tinted raven just sort of lands on Rune's shoulder. Oh, Rune, I believe your friend is a bit agitated. You may want to inform him of what you discovered.
Miss Vesparin, now might be a good time for you to make your exit. Because
I don't know.
in a few minutes, it's a good bet that me or Rune aren't going to walk out of this room.
But now you just make fucking interesting, because, you know, I'd like to see a show tonight.
With his left hand, he kind of like reaches back and like hits the wall, and like two swords like fall and like embed themselves into the table.
Oh, master, he's so strong.
Aldonis gets up and goes to get a bucket of water.
I feel like, you know, Vesparin would like basically just like scoot her chair back and just, yeah, you know, cross her legs like, ooh, I'm excited.
Sailix, there's no reason to get all uppity about it. You want to know about Kellen?
Well, what do you have, Rune?
I am reasonably sure Kellen is safe. I am also sure that what we're looking for is very nearby. But, as with all good news, there's a caveat.
He like his right hand grips onto one of the swords, and it sends that flame down the side. He pulls it from the table. He's like,
Aldonis comes back with the bucket of water and puts it down next to Rune, and then goes back to his corner to lay down.
Menoth,
Vesparin has pulled out an apple and is just like peeling off bits and eating it with the knife, like, oh.
Jeez.
Menoth, in his attempt to not get to Cantargo, for fear of what might happen here, I'm guessing, as you know, attempted to escape into the gate. As you might recall, the first gate we went to, do you remember what we fought in there? The Vision of Dahak.
I remember.
It's because between those gates, there's a way station. There's a point an area that you must traverse to travel. Menoth is similarly stuck in that space.
By himself?
That is the part I don't know. I believe Kellen resides someplace else that is accessible by the gates. But it is possible that he is there.
Sailix kind of gets closer to the table and he shoves it towards the door. He's like, your belief got him in the first place, Rune. I'm done putting my faith in your beliefs.
Here's what I know. You would not be able to talk to Kellen unless it was my search for power. It is because of what I did that we were able to find him. Now, with all search for power, as you yourself can see here, there are drawbacks. Mine happened to be an aboleth. Yours is some loss of morality or ethics or charity.
Oh,
Do not judge me for the choices I made. I'm attempting to make them right. Perhaps you should too. Now, I do believe that I can access Kellen. What I don't know is whether Kellen is in the Dream Gate, or whether he has found a place near Desna himself. So, I can help you find the person you care about the most, and maybe with it you'll find your heart again. Or you can stay here and keep beating people up, looking for some notion of corruption. Real or not. So if you're gonna punch me, punch me. Let's get that over with. If not, let's go find your friend.
He'll stand up. He'll kind of stab the sword back into the table where he got it from, where it had fallen into before. He'll walk over to Rune. His fist balled up.
Rune doesn't flinch.
If he's dead, Rune,
Then it is not my fault. But if you need me to blame, fine, do it.
he'll walk out the door.
Vesperin, you notice the underside of the apple has rotted away while you weren't paying attention. The side you're eating's fresh, but Balgora does that sometimes.
She'd look at the knife, really? Really? You're gonna do me raw like that? And assuming the is there a window she can chuck it out of?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she just throw it out the window.
Rune will look to Aldonis. Well, he didn't punch me, so I guess he wants to go find him.
It's good to see you. He's missed you, even though he doesn't know how to show it. But I guess he didn't punch you, so there's that.
Go ahead.
So, you in the cloaky thing, are you gonna be sticking around or getting yourself arrested again? I know Dietrich had some words.
We'll save that for later.
Well, I just want to know if I have like follow-up questions from Theobald, where I go calling upon you.
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm not sure what I'll end up after here.
Well, I mean, again,
Sailix leans his head back in. He's like, he's not leaving this house without me.
There's your answer.
Well, okay then.
We'll,
Good luck with
while
your
talking,
arresting.
Rune will be walking over to Aldonis and just kneel down and give him a hug.
He'll nuzzle you back, and he's got piercings in his brow now.
He probably seems much, much, much older.
Yeah.
To you.
Well, both of us do.
Yeah.
You were gone a long time.
Yeah, I was in a quiet place. Gave me a lot of time to think. I didn't forget about you lot.
You weren't in the prison?
He chuckles. Story for another time.
Okay.
But it's good to see you again.
I feel like Vesparin would basically go back to where the balcony is and just into the night.
Yeah, and as you head out, you hear just two guards order the torrent. They're making their patrols. One of them says to the other, "Do you hear? Hey, recovered Rune Ravenswood. Pulling him in a crypt now. I wonder if we'll find who killed him." As they walk into a tavern.
Yeah, Aldonis
And
will,
you're like, huh?
Aldonis will slowly open up and start to excitedly tell Rune all the cool things that have happened since they last parted, and like responsibilities that he has, and monsters that he's killed, and like shape shifting and all this other cool stuff.
For what it's worth, Aldonis notices that Rune's paying attention, but his there's a connection that's missing. He doesn't seem as empathetic as he may have once been.
Aldonis,
but he listens.
At this point, doesn't care because he smells like Rune. And so Rune is there, and considering how many people were taken from him before Rune was taken away in chains, it's like having this part of the old life back is means a lot to him. But also Demiri's here.
Where will Rune find Sailix?
Where will Rune find Sailix?
Sailix is kind of kneeling at the statue of Reka with his forehead just kind of pressed up against the bottom of it, and his hands kind of reached up and like on the bottom of her like toe. He's mumbling something in Celestial. But as he would hear Rune come out, he would gesture to the last set of doors that wasn't open. Look there. That's where you can set up your library. There's a lot of books in a desk, a cot, some things in there already.
I'll be all right. Thank you. How are you, Sailix?
Stand up. I'm alive.
I know, but how are you?
I I'm barely hanging on, Rune.
Ah,
I've been on this earth, in this plane of existence, 177 summers now. 125 of that was with Kellen. I'm barely hanging on.
made a lot of promises over the past 14 months. I don't want to make one to you in case it gets broken.
Then don't. All I need is you to point me in the direction to go.
I'll do what I can for you, Sailix. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll make sure that you stay alive long enough to at least figure something out.
Right. Well, lovely place you have here. It's no Breach Hill, but you know.
Yeah, it was mainly bought with corrupted dollars.
Who's corrupted dollars?
I don't know, some nobleman moved in a few months after I got here, built this nice place up, and we found out that he was working for some seedy people, you know, kicking the poor out of their homes, doing that kind of thing. So this is my first job. Pulled him out of his house and I beat him to death in the street. But bare hands.
You became a thug, Sailix.
Well, we all do what we have to. I became a thug. You became a convict.
Rune, you know the name of this manor written on the plaque. It's called Menador Manor. It's a story you know.
Metador Keep.
Yeah, probably a story that would have helped Salix. He lacks the wisdom of elves his age lately.
There was a fight not far from here, actually, a place called Metador Keep. There was a way station, a gate between Cantargo and the what were those lands called?
It would just be the rest of Ravenel.
Ravenel, the land
Rest
of
of
Ravenel.
Cheliac.
During the war, some 2 decades ago or so, there was a fight there. I think the brother or some relative of Thrune set an ambush, or no, there was an ambush set for them. At any rate, the founder of your very faction, Rush, I believe his name was.
You know the name.
He crushed that entire keep to the very ground, cutting off Cantargo from Ravenel. Brutally murdering every person there not aligned with the Ravens. Silver Ravens. Regardless of who they allied themselves with. Does Rush still exist? Is he Is it
Oh.
still around?
He left to found a faction called the Firebrands. They exist all over Galarian. His stories are unbelievable, but probably also not to be believed. He's known for doing many things. A lot of them are contradicting, but he's alive as far as you know. He has nothing to do with Crimson Ravens anymore. He outgrew them.
Yeah, no, he's around.
There was a legend that I read about as I was sitting in the middle of nothing. It was a story of the final battle against Thrune. It was said, or is described, that the final blow came from Rush Victicaro, of the family Victicaros, thought lost. The last son of that family, actually. And he simply walked off, blood covered, cloaked, caked in crimson, and simply walked off into the sunset, vowing to crush any hint of corruption. It's a rather inspiring story if it wasn't so gory, really.
Well, it lines up with everything I've heard of him so far.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I've done everything I've done, Rune. Because without influence, without prestige, without being known, nothing is available to you in this city. So I went to work. I killed people. I did it in gruesome manners. I ascended the ranks of the Crimson Ravens. And here I am. I have pretty much all the knowledge that we could want at our fingertips.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And please don't misunderstand my judgmental tone. It's a side effect, I guess, of where I've been, but you made a choice because you had to survive. I don't discount that. And good on you for doing it. You had to figure out some way to eke out here. The one question I have to ask is, when you and Kellen do see each other again, who is he seeing?
Rune, I'll tell you something. And he'll look around to make sure Aldonis isn't around or no one else is.
Aldonis has gone to go find Demiri.
The more I figure out, the more stories I hear of the Scarlet Triad, the more I worry that Kellen might be part of them. And if that day comes, I'll end him just like I'll end the rest of them.
Kellen, part of the Triad. A connection I had never made, really. What makes you think that?
Because he's aloof enough to get in and out of places, deliver messages to dreams, transpose facts to people's minds that just seem like they were always naturally there.
Ah, I see.
And the fact that when I ran to him, protect him in your dream, I was thrown away.
You, Sailix? No. You weren't thrown away.
He wouldn't allow me to touch him, Rune.
Yeah. He was protecting you. That was a place you weren't meant to be. There's a place you wound up in. And there was something there that couldn't be allowed to go into you or anyone else. He wasn't pushing you away.
Either way, at the end of the day, if he my goal in
Yeah.
life has changed from finding Kellen to ending the Scarlet Triad.
Salix, you hear the sound of familiar metal reinforced leather boots clicking along from up the stairs, coming into the door frame, not from the window or the balcony up on the other floor, but just up the stairs. Returning from the larder. Go ahead.
So yeah, so you know, Vesparin would you know, after the very touching, heartfelt conversation.
She seemed to creep in
Yeah,
to
just
listen
make
in
her
on
presence.
under your noses. I did
Yeah,
roll the perception,
exactly.
by the way, guys. Sorry.
It's totally one of those things where she would think it would be polite. Have you hear her? And she has a bottle of whiskey. Would just be like, all right, so
Salix, that's not just a bottle of whiskey. That was a gift from a friend just a few months ago. You don't know much about the director, but that he's writing a piece to describe as an epic tale, a trilogy of sorts, the story of the Unforgotten Army. He has been so invested with it that he hasn't had the time even to visit. He's only a few days away, but everybody's been kind of busy. But that's not any ordinary whiskey. That's Red Cask whiskey as a gift to you, to remember some old friends. It's not to be consumed, yet this person seems to be making great progress in an astonishingly short time. What do you do?
Lady Vesperin,
yeah. I think
Rose Ray, help me. If you finish that whole bottle, I will rip you limb from limb.
I know. Listen, I understand you might be mad, but you should really try something super good. But also, and she'd look at Rune. You're dead. Did you know that?
Alex is rubbing his the bridge of his nose
She would hand Sailix the whiskey.
Wow.
I mean, you both are dead now. I figured it was a drinking occasion. And she would pull out a clump of what looks like beard hair and hold it up towards Rune's face, trying to match.
Rune, that looks like your hair. From the tone, it's much longer than the beard you had by the time you shaved it. Yet this sea elf seems so confident that perhaps do you just bite?
Rune just sort of instinctively pulls away. Do you mind?
I mean, again, like, I just figured you'd want to know you was dead. You can
Right.
visit yourself. But you know, I don't know, you magic types like all this fucking air and everything. So I thought I'd be helpful.
Well, who thinks I'm dead now?
I saw you. You was dead. You were in the cemetery right now, getting cleaned up, about to go into the ground.
Ah, it's perfect. So as far as city's concerned, I'm buried or about to be. Yeah.
Salix,
Huh.
thinking about this, you did have a doppelganger, a body double. This wasn't an illusion. This was transmogrification. Perhaps she died. Maybe being broken out went south for her. But you didn't know her. Yeah, what do you do?
Me?
Yeah, Rune.
You definitely prefaced that with saying Sailix, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, I have a body double.
I know.
I get my boys confused.
Yeah.
Well, as long as the city thinks I'm dead, make things a bit easier.
Yeah, you could do a whole thing with your face and,
Well, but hang on a second. You're not the least bit like curious who made you dead?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was the Triad at this point, but if you know more.
I don't. I obviously and it won't you. So like if it was me at least, I'd want to know who decided to have me running around for what was probably nefarious purposes.
Well,
it's
the logic goes, if the Triad is in fact involved, they likely wanted to extract me from the jail, pull me into their little own interrogation, found out there was a bit of a problem with that, and then offed it. Me.
yeah, sounds about right. I wonder if she was there for that.
You want this back?
He'll
She'd
take it
hand
back.
you the beard hair.
No, it's all yours, thank you. You keep it.
Fucking-
So, does anybody else have anything for the night?
Sailix is going to make sure he tells Rune that there is a bath upstairs and grooming utensils in case he wants to, freshen up or anything in the morning. He knows humans' facial hairs grow at different rates. He's trying to keep him from getting that shit beard again, all right?
I have no intention of growing that back. It was a bit itchy after a year or so.
I can only imagine. As he stares at the moonlit sky with a smooth face, never a hair on it.
Imagine all you like. I mean, I could make an adjustment, let you try it out for a day if you like.
No, I'm quite okay with that.
Are you sure? I'm sure a nice full groomed beard would do you well.
Nope. That would take my youthful look away from me. This is how I get along in the world.
Huh. Well, do me a favor. I know how long you've been. Excuse me. I can only assume how long you've been working with the Crimson Ravens. Don't drink from their well too much. They're extremists. You're better than that.
I'll take it under advisement.
I appreciate it. I'm going to wander about for a bit, see what your place looks like.
Sailix, this almost slipped past you. But it appears that your unwelcome guest, 2 times over, this is your twofold uninvited guest, has now made another attempt at indulging in this great whiskey that you have been gifted by a friend. And she almost got away with it, except out of the corner of your eye, you noticed her hand. She tried to reach for it. What do you do?
Can I just hit her in the head with like the butt of my sword? Just like, phone.
Yes.
he's not trying to like bash her brains in or anything.
Yeah.
He's like, phone. What are you doing?
Which hand was it? It's important. Which hand was it?
no.
Oh, it's the thundering hand.
You can
Yeah.
control it. Just
Yeah.
But it's funny.
that's
You
hilarious.
really gotta try it. It's so good.
Trust me, I've had it. And it's
So
Aldonis
you
will
can't
come
even
up.
be mad. Like
it's very expensive. and
it
very
tastes
rare.
very expensive.
This is probably worth more
Ooh.
than making a year.
You don't know how much.
So Aldonis comes up and he sees the bottle and he sees that it's open and his lip trembles and his teeth get bare just as a reaction. Why is that here?
You see, now you've gone and made him angry. Like
It's been
Sailix
making me angry all night, so one good turn deserves another.
will like put it behind his back. It's like, because some people can't keep their hands to themselves.
That was my mother's. Get out.
You heard the kid. Doors that way.
Doors are so boring, though.
Aldonis, please make sure they don't take anything on their way out.
Gladly.
She would just jump off the balcony again.
It's time to lock your doors a little bit better, huh?
Sailix would go upstairs like, motherfucking shit.
Aldonis will go and bar the door on the main floor.
Oh man.
Rune will head to whatever room he's been given and just walk around it with the staff, just sort of drawing a line as the runes or the arcane symbols on the staff itself begin to glow, and the line just sort of forms around the path that he walks throughout the room for an alarm spell.
Excellent. Later in the night, if anybody has anything before you retire, if not, the alarm is triggered by the windowsill again to your unending frustration. Do you wish to investigate?
Yeah. This time he's mad.
What happens when the alarm is triggered?
Well, so the alarm would only be for Rune's room.
Aldonis would be sleeping in front of the front door.
So it is still triggered. Would other people hear it, or is something only you sense?
I believe it is just in my head.
Right. So now you suddenly hear that ringing.
So out of curiosity, what time would this have been?
This is in the middle of the night.
All right. So Rune's still awake because he doesn't need much sleep anymore.
Right.
So as the alarm goes off, he turns to look, knowing where it came from.
Expecting maybe a sea elf, but instead it's a raven, not yours, but of pure solid silver. And it cocks its head. It's much smaller than the ravens you have, but it sort of just pops and looks. There is a note attached to its feet.
He'll kneel down. Unfurl the note.
It's
if I recall, like the raven will allow me to respond. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
The raven says, "You are requested post haste to arrive at Alamaxa Manor. Speak to Nazarene Alamaxa." And that's it. That's where we're going to end off tonight, guys.
Oh
wow.
All right then.
So, that was quite an interesting session. Thank you guys for watching. I feel
like this is how Jen and my characters always start off.
Yeah, well, I sort of just put everybody in rival factions there.
Yeah.
Not by accident. Nobody died.
Yeah.
I see that as a win-win-win-win for the party.
Mean, I admit, Spence, there were a couple times I'm like, I really want to call initiative.
I did too.
Yeah. like especially on like some of the I don't remember what you first said.
I called you a she-elf.
Yeah, there was that, but like the first thing of get your hands dirty. I was just
Sailix is over here desperately trying to be a good parent, like just say thank you.
I love Sailix as a parent.
Dude,
it's so good.
I just kept
Daddy Sailix
picturing
is badass.
that meme of like the woman screaming at the cat. like that was entirely Salix and Adonis, just like ah!
Daddy Sailix was pretty spot on.
Oh my god.
Guys, if you guys like what you saw, it was Fantasy Grounds Unity. You can go to fantasygrounds.com. Smitewworks made this program. We use it for the entire game as virtual tabletop music. The song was by Rock Narden, music by Michael Gelfi, or at least the ambient tracks. Mr. Smith.
Oh, I play. I'm Mr. Smith. I'm so flustered now, apparently. I'm Mr. Smith. I played Rodrina Woodswood. You can find my various musings at IamMrSmith.com. Definitely come back around, check out Penny for a Tale. We've got plenty of shows.
Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I played Vesparin, the sea elf rogue tonight. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. You can find me at savagesparrow.com for awesome nerdy t-shirts, accessories, and apparels.
Spence.
I'm Spence. I live here, and you can find me on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Renaissance Moon. I also GM every other Monday for Static Dawn. So yeah, and I played Aldonis the Warg.
Daniel.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the source of all of our technical woes and moral quandaries. I am here all the damn time. Every other Monday with Star Wars, which we will be here tomorrow with Alex. Every Sunday with Ian with Age of Ashes. Every Friday with either our Short Rest series or Scion, which I GM. So definitely come and check us out for one of those. They're all epic and full of action and great times. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
And I've been Ian, the GM. You can find us 8:30 p.m. next week. We're on every Sunday with Age of Ashes. This was episode 25, and I hope to see you for episode 26. That's it for me. So good night, friends.